Hi everyone. Do you ever get the feeling that you're running out of time to talk with your kids and share with them all the things that you want to share with them that are on your list? You know, it really hit me today when I went to pick up the school books, as it's January 2021 and my eldest turned 16 yesterday. And I was thinking about how much time it had taken to order the school books, pick them up, and all of the personal admin we do for our kids with school, etc. And of course, as always, I was thinking about it through sex and sexuality lens and parenting, and wondering, here's a question for you. Do you think in 2020, as crazy as it was, and goodbye to 2020, that you spent enough time with your kids talking to them about issues like sex and sexuality? Let me tell you a story about how I started this business. I'd love to say hi to all the new people that are joining me on the podcast and on the socials. It's great to have you here. Talking the Talk Sex and Health Education teaches parents and teachers and now students from prep right through to university level about human sexuality and how to talk about it. And it all started with a question that my 5-year-old asked me many years ago. And I was stumped. I didn't know how to answer it, even though I was a sexual health nurse and had been for many years. So out of nowhere, I was just innocently brushing my teeth in the bathroom, and over in the shower was a 5-year-old, and I was on maternity leave after having the third child. And I was thinking about a change of business and wondering to myself, do parents really need help with talking to their kids about sex and sexuality? After all, I hadn't really had any trouble telling the 5-year-old and the 3-year-old about the amazing story of human reproduction and where the sperm and the ovum come from and how they get together. But then I got this question out of nowhere. Mum, how does the man stop the wee from coming out when he's putting the seed in the vagina? I mean, it's a great question, isn't it? I was completely stumped. Right, okay. First thing I thought to myself was, time for renovation, I need my own bathroom. Then the second thing I thought was, typical, my husband's never home when the big questions come up. Why do I always have to answer them? And then with my best sexual health nurse knowledge hat on, I said, he does a wee first, which is sort of right, sort of not. Honestly, I kid you not, 5 years later when he was 10 years old, he came home late from sport one night and he was eating his dinner, and I was preparing a presentation to present at his school to the parents. And he said, oh, what's the first slide you use, Mum? What's the thing you use to get them in? What's your opening line? And I said, I'd been meaning to get his consent to use this story. And I said, well, I tell them about a 5-year-old who asked his mum, how does the man stop the wee from coming out when he's putting the seed in the vagina? And he said, oh, that's a good question. I know, he does a wee first. He remembered. So now that he was 10, we were able to have a conversation about human reproduction and sex and sexuality and the body in a 10-year-old perspective. And we talked about how the mind controls the body and sends messages to parts of the body, and the bladder blocks off so only one fluid can come out at once. So 3 things I want you to think about is, are you the teachable, the askable and teachable parent that your kids need? Do you get stumped with what to say, worried about, parents tell me they're worried they're going to say too much, they're worried they're not going to say enough, they don't have the language, what if we give them ideas, what if they lose their innocence? I hear all the same things all the time at parent sessions. But here's the clincher, the number one question I want you to think about. Who do you want to be the main source of information for your kids about sex and sexuality? Who do you want to be the main person who tells them about each topic? Hopefully you're saying it's you. And if it is, then you need to say to yourself, well, when do you need to get in first to have those conversations with your kids? So I invite you in 2021 to join me on a podcast and let me know what you want to hear. I've got a list of 30 podcasts I'm about to record, and I don't know where to start, in what order. I've had so many questions from people, so send them in again, and the most I get, that's where I'll start. What do you want to know? What will help you talk to your kids about sex and sexuality in 2021? And make sure you're the main educator, because our kids have spent so much time on screens, haven't they, this year? And we really need to be that, talk about two bubbles. The bubble over here of comprehensive, age-appropriate, accurate sex and sexuality education from home and school being the classroom. Because globally, research tells us that when we give them that information from a very young age throughout schooling, they have much better outcomes later on in life. Over here is the bubble of information where they're currently getting their sexuality education from, isn't it? Social media, popular culture, pornography, TV, music videos, all those things. So we need to counteract it with accurate information, and it needs to come from you, and I'm happy to help you. So share this video so that lots of people can join us. I've got a lot of things in the pipeline. Actually, COVID turned out that you can always find something positive, can't you? So what happened was, because I had to cancel all my sessions in schools, 2 full terms worth, on that, lots of kids have missed out on their sexuality education this year formally at school. I'm not the only provider that wasn't able to go in, so make sure you check with schools that they're going to follow up with that this year. I created virtual classroom online for teachers to be able to use, and it's me presenting the content via video, and I train the teachers press the video, and lots of schools used it successfully. And I'll be doing version 2.0 next week, ready for the new school year. So ask your school if they'd like to hear more about it. You can find out about it on my website. I'm opening the membership doors in February. So I've spent a lot of time refining the membership so parents can work more closely with me with live Q&As. So put your name on the waiting list for that. Have a look on the resources page. You will have access to my personal link library, all the links I've been collecting over the years related to sex and sexuality, my recommended book list. They're all there on the resources page of my website, www.talkingthetalksexed.com.au. So if you're wondering, if you're the person that really wants to be the main educator for your kids, the teachable, askable parent they need, it's actually not as hard as you think. Once you just involve yourself in finding out as much information as you can. I'll be sharing lots of videos on social media, so follow me on social media, and just send me your questions. I love hearing from people. I love hearing the stories about how successful and how rewarding it is to be the main educator for your kids, because it really is so very important. So happy New Year, and looking forward to 2021 being the year that we can provide as much support as we can to this generation of kids who really, really need us. I look forward to hearing from you and meeting some of you at presentations. I'll be doing parent presentations, probably virtually again, because schools and I discovered that online Zoom sessions for parents were really popular. We're having double and triple the numbers showing up, because you can sit in your lounge room at 8 o'clock at night and hear from me live at 8 o'clock. So get your schools to give me a call and we can book in parent sessions for this year, anywhere around Australia and indeed the world. And I've got a fair bit of work going on for overseas countries wanting virtual classroom as well. So there's a lot happening. So I'll stop there. Take care and be that askable and teachable parent that your kids need you to be.